welcome. So, I think the majority of you will relate to this because when you get your wings, so to speak, yeah, um, which is, your ascension, your awakening, which is basically just your consciousness expanding, right? Your heart opening and all this knowledge and information that you gain, right? And what happens is one of the hardest things, right, is um, to not take things personally, right? I mean, it's like um, your loved ones, right? I mean, you could get hold of them. You could get hold of them, couldn't you? And you could shake them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't understand. But they don't understand. Yeah, they'll only understand in their own way and in their own time. But at first you feel like this. And what happens as you go along and you gain all this knowledge and everything, by the way, if your path or your journey is hard, take a look at what your dreams are. What do you want? And that'll give you some idea of how, of why it's hard. Because you don't want to settle, do you? You get to a point where you're not going to settle, and your loved ones have settled, and you come to a realization along the way that I can't believe that all my life I have thought that way, I have felt that way, I have reacted in these ways, quite shallow. You can't be, it's not shallow in a bad way. I mean, you didn't understand, and that's exactly how other people are with you, not to understand. And especially if you're like an empath, if you're sensitive, it is really hard not to take things personally. They do. They think, and I've touched on this before, they think, everything that you're doing is personal to them, when in fact you're not even thinking in that way anymore. You don't think like that. You don't think to do things towards other people. You're just doing it to yourself, inside yourself. You know what I mean? So you get to how do you deal with with your loved ones and not understanding you, even when you know that it's the right way for them. Well, you just come to understand that you can't do it. You've just got to leave people to how they are. Now, one of the hardest ones is when they think, you know what I mean, that you've absolutely lost the plot, and sometimes they say things to you and what have you, right? And that's really hard to, what anybody's saying or doing towards you, it personally as well, it's very hard to not take it personally. But as you go further and further and higher with your vibes, it's you get to where you can stop yourself. You stop yourself falling back into that cycle of how you would react or how you would think or feel, and instead you take notice of what you're feeling, and you just think it's so sad. You think, you just changed. You just changed forever, and you can't put the genie back in the bottle. That's it. You're out of there. You are flying high. You know what I mean? And there is something in my attic, right, that keeps rustling around. It's been happening for weeks, right? It's like bats in me belfry. But that's what they think you are. Batty in your belfry. So I'm just I'm just saying this because this is how it goes. Do you know what I mean? This is kind of the process that happens, and you do reach a point where your ego is just out of the way. It's just you still need ego, right? Which that's a different post, but it's out of the way, and you understand where they're coming from. You understand, and to do this, to understand, right, that somebody, that it is not personal, takes a great amount of, first off, patience, which is this journey teaches you abounds, loads of it, till you don't even have any anymore. Do you know what I mean? And it takes patience and compassion and love to be able to understand where they're coming from, and just leave them to it, basically.